You like that? You like that? You like that? Acknowledge me.
Oh my god, it's a 4-2-5 defense. All you gotta do is blitz more. All they gotta do is fire Eric Glenn, and then you can start winning again. They're so stupid.
You like that? You like that? You like that? You like that? You like that?
Great. It's a great draft. It is a good draft. What's up, Scott? What's up, Rob? What's up, Chad?
What's up, y'all? This is Ifeatu Melifonwu, safety for the Detroit Lions. And I just want to take some time out to give a big shout out to Russell Wayne and Main Event Mike from the Detroit Lions Villain Squad. It's a fan page and a podcast. And I just want to say I appreciate the support of me and my team. And I encourage everyone to go check out their podcast and check out their fan page. Go Lions.
Tuesday. What is happening? Ladies and gentlemen, what's up? Welcome one, welcome all. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Welcome one, welcome all. Yes, it is football talk with yours truly, Russell Wayne, right here. We're broadcasting live. We got a lot to get to today. We want to go through all of these draft picks. We want to go through the whole thing. But first of all, let's take care of this right there. We're broadcasting live into the Detroit Lions News Podcast. Thank you to Joe Chap, Darcy, Walter. Thank you to everybody from that page right there, allowing us to broadcast into their spot, and yet they're putting out good content themselves right there. We're broadcasting live into the Lions Villain Squad right here. We're approaching 50,000. We're going to hit it this week. I might be coming on here tomorrow telling you about 50,000 villains that we have right here. And also in the Villain Squad YouTube page, that's where we're doing this thing right here. But the Lions, there we go. The draft is in, right? They select 6 new characters. What did you think of the Lions draft? I want to know. Before I even start going into this. Good morning or good afternoon to David. Good afternoon to Dwayne. Kings of the North.
You like that?
Kings of the North.
You like that?
Good afternoon, Rob. The division is going to be good with the rookie QBs, the Bears, and the Vikings as the advantage Lions and Packers, though I think that you are right. Good afternoon to Dwayne. Good afternoon to Scotty Reno's up in the house. What's going on? David Barnett, did this draft get us any faster at cornerback? I think we're going to get into that. Yes. So, great draft. Rob thought it was a great draft. All right. Just to get that all started in there. What did you really think of the draft? I think that who was the one that made the comment about David. Did the draft get us any faster at cornerback? I think that you're trying to say something right there with our cornerbacks right there, because he's looking at 40 times, which is fine. But the Lions in the very first round, they get, I mean, we gotta set the table on this. So here's what happens right here. In the first round gets queued up, right? We're going through the round, they're drafting all the normal guys, and then the thing that happens is there's no defensive players that are being taken. And if you went on that draft journey with me and Mike, then it's kind of like, wow, no defensive players. You got weird stuff happening. You got the Atlanta Falcons going up and taking Michael Penix. Don't mind the player, but you just signed Kirk Cousins. To a 4-year deal, and you draft a quarterback?
It's my quarterback.
I don't get it. You could have had Terrion Arnold. So they're taking offensive player, and then they start taking some defensive players, but no cornerbacks. And then finally, pick 20 comes, and Quinyon Mitchell finally goes off of the board. And then right before the Packers go on, the Lions squeeze in there. They trade up, and they select Alabama cornerback Terrion Arnold, which they had as their number 1 cornerback in this draft. And the Lions are going to be a physical team. They're building a physical team. And on defense, they didn't have the horses on cornerback to play the kind of defense that they want to play. They want to get up on the line of scrimmage. They want to play press man with their cornerbacks and give these wide receivers a hard time within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. And Terrion Arnold is one of the best at that. Man corner. So for what the Lions want to do, this was absolutely a slam dunk pick right here. And as far as speed goes, don't look at the 40 times. Just watch him. Watch him play. You got a guy, and not only do you have a cornerback right here, but it's also the football player. You have to understand, Brad Holmes drafts football players. And before the idea that he's a cornerback, he's a football player, and he's a guy that wants to get better. He ain't coming in with no high heads thinking, oh, yeah, I'm already the greatest cornerback in the league. No, he's wants to put in the work, and he wants to get incrementally better throughout his whole career. And he's already really good. So I love this pick. I don't know how you can not like this pick. The Lions were in desperate need of secondary help. They went out and did some things in free agency that were nice. You know, I like the things that they did in free agency, bringing in Carlton Davis via trade, 3rd round pick, a solid man corner. That's good. That came in, and he's already an upgrade over anything that you had here last year. And you bring in Amik Robertson, who you could argue that he's an upgrade over everything that we had last year. So you had a good start, and then you go into the draft, and then you add Terrion Arnold. You love these Alabama guys. Here's a guy that's already got chemistry with Brian Branch. So Terrion Arnold, trading up, sacrificing a 3rd round pick that might have been a little bit above what you wanted to pay, but you're getting your guy. The cool thing about trading up is you're getting the guy that you want. You could have had all these other guys, whatever. If you think, a certain guy was better and better than Brad Holmes, that's fine. And you thought somebody was better. But the fact of the matter is they traded up and they got the guy that they wanted in Terrion Arnold. So, painting the picture, I mean, it's pretty awesome. You get into that pick, all of a sudden you hear Detroit Lions are now on the clock. There has been a trade, and then the entire city erupts. And then when they make this pick, I would have to say that the majority of the people think that this was awesome. We've been crying. Please get us somebody to help this secondary. Get us somebody. Help. Get us somebody to help. And they went out and got the best. They went out and got the best secondary guy that they could get. This guy should have been gone in the top 15. And because some teams want to go out and get Michael Penix, Rob says Cousins is old. I'm sure the Vikings would have loved to have Penix when Cousins went down last season. They're grooming him for the future. Well, I mean, I can kind of believe in that, but they should have let Cousins know what was going on. Cousins signed a 4-year deal. So I don't think that he was told that he was going to be grooming anybody. And, he will have the starting job in there. But, you pick a guy at, 8 overall that isn't even going to help your team right now. I mean, you could have had a player that could be impacting your team in year 1. I mean, and you got Cousins on a 4-year deal. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't agree with you on that one, Rom, but that's all right. That's cool. We can agree to disagree. I hope that we are jamming in that 1st to 5 yard. Yeah, we want to get to the quarterback. You can see the way that they wanted to play last year. They just didn't have the cover corners I mean, the idea of this, it's really funny, but we're talking like a second and a half. If you can get cornerbacks to cover for an extra second, 2 seconds, maybe. I mean, God forbid, 3 seconds. You're talking Aiden Hutchinson's the relentless guy, man. You're talking a lot more sacks. These cornerback guys that they're bringing in, better cornerback play equals more sacks. If you can believe that, wrap your mind around it. But it's true. If you got a secondary that can cover longer, you will get more sacks. Mark my word. And all of a sudden, you're going to like a guy on the other side of our line. You're going to be like, oh my God, I really like John Kaminsky. Well, he had an extra 2.5 seconds to get to the quarterback, and he was able to because they covered better. I don't know. Something to think about because, yeah, just when you think they're done, I mean, I would have been good with that, right? Getting the best cover, but no. Brad Holmes sits there and wait. Everybody wants him to trade up, get this guy. No more. We're waiting. Brad Holmes sitting in the war room like Denzel, all calm and cool. I picture Brad Holmes walking in slow motion while things are blowing up behind him. It's getting all, and he's like, yeah. And he gets to pick 61, and then he gets on his board the second best corner. I mean, you're talking two of the number 1 and number 2 SEC corners for sure. Ennis Rakestraw. And I'm going to coin the phrase Ennis the Menace. Ennis the Menace, I mean, is arguably the second best corner in the draft. He's definitely a top 5. You're talking 2 of the top 5 corners that they got. And he said that the plan, Brad Holmes said that wasn't the plan to go in and say, all right, we need to get 2 cornerbacks. No, but the board falls that way. And then he's sticking out. You know, he's widely known as a second round pick. Widely known. And you got to the end of that second round. And, you know, that's pretty good value right there. Some people valued him as a late first round pick. Some people had him going to the Lions at 29. But Ennis Rakestraw is the type of dude that can guard the guys that are on the slants. You know, the knock on him is he gets handsy. But, I mean, he plays right up on you. He gets right in your face. And, you know, in the NFL, you're going to get taught how to get hands close. And he has great instincts. And he slides right into this cornerback room that already has Carlton Davis, Amik Robertson, and now Terrion Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw with Brian Branch and Ifatu and Kirby. And all of a sudden, this weakness last year is all of a sudden filled with a bunch of new faces, lots of talented faces in here. So I don't know what you think about any of these cornerbacks that the Lions brought in, like one by one. When you start looking at this cornerback room as a whole, it really looks like it's starting to become a strength of this team on paper, right? When you look at the other positions that the Lions have, you have a lot more sure things on there. You know, guys with actual NFL experience, you know, and I understand that Carlton Davis and Amik Robertson have NFL experience, but they haven't played with us yet. So just to say, hey, these guys are going to have great chemistry, that, you know, I don't want to go there. But I think it's pretty good because you didn't get good cornerback play. So they wiped everybody out of the room. They're like, peace. The only ones they kept were the young guys that were like on the practice squad, like Stephen Gilmore and Dorsey. You know, they kept those guys around, you know, and Emmanuel Mosley, who played like 2 plays. And, you know, who knows? He may even come back and give you meaningful contribution. So cornerback room got turned over. I love it.
You like that? You like that?
What did you think? What did you think of the cornerback overhaul that has happened so far this year? I got to dedicate like the first 20 minutes of the program straight to the first 2 picks and bringing everybody up to speed on how this cornerback room has turned completely around. I mean, Last year, you were dependent on Emmanuel Mosley, and you had Jerry Jacobs and Cam Sutton and Kendall Vildor. And you were depending on these guys at the end of the year. That whole room's been wiped out. Now you got Kendall Vildor on the outside looking in. They did re-sign Kendall Vildor, but after bringing in all these young bucks, I think they might win out right here. I mean, I think a guy like Kendall Vildor might have a hard time making the roster at this point. I mean, maybe he makes it on the back end, but they built for the now and they built for the future. I love the 2 picks. They worked out great. They got great value in those picks. You know, for a couple of 3rd round picks, you were able to secure 3 high-level cornerbacks. You know, it cost you a 3rd round pick to get Carlton Davis. Cost you a 3rd round pick to move up and get Terrion Arnold, Ennis, and then, you know, Meek Robertson. Now that room is completely revamped, and it's looking good. And the other positions are fine. Joseph says the Lions were a Khalif away from making the Super Bowl. No worries. Hey, they got a young team. They got a young, hungry team who are taking their lumps together. You know, one thing is the other teams that are in the North that were like, oh yeah, what are you guys going to do? You guys aren't going to be able to cover anybody. It's like, hey, we fixed our problem. I mean, if you think that you're just going to chuck the ball down the field now to Justin Jefferson and DJ Moore and you know, in the North, I mean, that's fine, but we've done our due diligence. The Lions have done their job to fix their weaknesses. Their weaknesses was the secondary, and they completely revamped the secondary in the first couple rounds of the draft, starting right there. And you get, I mean, who could have any complaints for that? That's unbelievable. You go for you started out in free agency, and then you add Terrion Arnold, and then you add Ennis the Menace, Rakestraw, and all of a sudden you're looking pretty good. And then they didn't have a pick for a while. Yeah. Then it was, you know, we're going to wait. We're going to wait. And we're going to wait. And then we're going to wait.
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
And then we're going to wait.
Bite a kneecap off.
And then we're going to wait. And then they couldn't wait anymore. And then they trade up. They trade a future 3rd round pick to accumulate a couple of picks, including this pick right here, where they take the Tongan giant, Giovanni Manu, in the round 4. And, you know, some might say that they trade that. I mean, you know, if I'm going to criticize the draft anywhere, it's going to be here. But I don't hate this pick. I don't hate this pick at all. I mean, let's look at what Giovanni Manu is. He's a mountain of a man. This is a 6'8", 350-pound dude. A dude. He's a developmental guy. But, you know, all the combine stuff and, you know, him playing, they say that he's actually pretty good at playing the position already. But he hasn't played anybody. But he's chucking guys around when you look at any of the tape on him. But definitely lower level competition. But you can't teach somebody how to be 6'8", 350, running a 4.9. That's crazy. That's crazy. And he's going to be learning behind Penei Sewell and Frank Ragnow and Kevin Zeitler, Taylor Decker. So a developmental 350-pound man amongst boys, Giovanni Manu. What do you think of that pick? What do you think of that pick? Do you like that pick? You think that was a reach, or do you like, I mean, here's the thing about trading up. I mean, that I can't stress anymore is that when you're trading up, you're coming up to get the guy that you want. They wanted this guy. It wasn't like, oh man, I wonder who we should take now that we're on the clock. No, you're moving up. You're giving more picks. You're giving extra capital up so you can move up, so you can take the person that you want. And they wanted Giovanni Manu. And he's a dude, man. Like I say, you can't teach that. I mean, if he went to USC with those measurables, he'd be a first-round pick. You know? I mean, 350. I mean, it's not 350 with a beer gut. This is 350. And look at him. Look at him. You can't teach that. You give him some NFL coaching. Who knows? Tongan. He's Tongan. And he's got the name Man in his last name. Man. That's right. Gonna move people out of the way. Giovanni Manu. The man. They drafted a Mayon. So, I don't know what you thought of that pick right there. And then we get into, hey, what's up, Jimmy? It's true. If you have the great corners, the quarterback will hold the ball longer and a better chance for sacks. Yeah, I mean, it does. It works all together like this ecosystem, right? And when you have them all, when you have all the phases working together, you get this great balance where, like, you can count on it inside a clock that, you know, our pass rushers are good enough to get there in 5 seconds, you know? And if you got cornerbacks that can, you know, guard for an extra 3 seconds, or maybe they're holding them up on the line because, you know, our technique is to press and get them all caught up on their rhythm. I mean, I love the picks. I love the picks. And then we get into, I don't remember which one was first here. Oh, did I do it wrong? No, I didn't. Okay. Sione Vaki. Now this one, I like this pick right here because this is the type of guy that's going to have an impact right off the bat because of the versatility. I mean, first of all, this guy is a safety, right? No, he's not a safety. Is he a running back? No. What is he? No, this guy is what Brad Holmes loves to call a football player, right? So they come up here and they select Utah safety that I think that they're going to use as a running back. So the story on this kid is that he's playing. He was a running back in high school, and then he plays safety at Utah, and then they had some injuries at running back, and they end up giving him the rock, and they let him run the ball, and kid comes in and kills it. Averages like 7.2 yards a carry. So I don't know. I mean, 5'11", 210 pounds. So, I mean, really strong. He can tackle on special teams. So this kid is going to come in and immediately be a special teams guy. Now, if you remember last year, you know, remember CJ Moore, you know, doing fakes running with the football. This guy's electric with the football, and on special teams, it might be Sion Vaki coming out of the backfield on 4th and 7, on our side of the field where Dan the Gamble Campbell comes out and does his, favorite. Oh, you know what? There is no 4th down. 4th down is just a second chance at 3rd down.
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
Look, man. Look, man. We don't believe it. And Sione Vaki is a great piece for that. And he will have an impact this year. He might actually earn a starting spot with special teams right off the bat. This was a direct guy that they wanted. They had a specific role carved out for this guy. So we're going to have to see what they can do with that. I don't know. Anybody, what did you guys think of the Sione Vaki pick right here? And I'm going to go back here. Let me see if I got anything. What's up, David? Brad was outstanding. David said, wish we got a kicker. We got, we could have gotten Mevis with that 7th round pick. I wish he was a UDFA. My thoughts on kickers, don't draft them. You don't need to draft kickers. Find your kicker and then stick with them, make the kicker comfortable and have him work on his craft. I mean, the fact that, you could have a player, you got to draft players right there. You can get these guys UDFAs. They brought in that Turner kid. I'm going to go into that too. That's going to be on the other end of that. Just talking about, how Brad has done with this roster right here. Rob says, I totally get what Atlanta is doing. Okay. That's okay. You know what? I'm glad I'm not an Atlanta fan, because if I was an Atlanta fan, I wouldn't like that. But, I'm just a knucklehead with a podcast. So who cares? What I think. So some people might like that. So I feel you, Rob. Dwayne, thank you for the comment. Dwayne says they brought 15 players in and see what they can do. Okay, we're into the undrafted free agents here. You guys are talking. Cousins is old, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure the Vikings would have loved to have Penix when Cousins went down last season. I don't know. Cousins was pretty damn good. They paid him $40 million a year. To me, I don't get it. If you're going to go with a rookie and a rookie contract, taking advantage of the rookie contract, why pay a quarterback during that time? I hope we are great. Yeah, I think I went back too far, and I am sorry. I went back too far with it. Fred Peterson says, good afternoon. It's a great day to be a Lion. What's up, Mr. Peterson? He is our Patreon. Thank you for, contributing to that. And, every little bit helps. And if you like our show, you can go to patreon.com with the Patreon Villain Squad, and you can find it there. And you can join Fred and become one of our super villains. So thank you, Fred. Thank you, Fred. I do like that. David says, is it true that the Lions have one of the fastest offenses and one of the slowest defenses in the NFL? Is it true? I'm not sure. I don't know about that. Are we talking 40 times with that? Because last year, I think that they said that Brian Branch ran a 4.5 40, right? And one of the weaknesses, oh my God, what's he going to do? But when he had that interception in KC, he ran it back at like 22 miles an hour. So I really don't put too much stock in the 40s. How fast can you play? Now, if we're talking last year, slowest defenses with Kendall Vildor and Cam Sutton, those guys are different kind of corners. They're not real fast. The corners that we got in the draft are much faster. Carlton Davis is about the same fastness, but these guys are jam it up guys. They're going to jam it up. They're going to jam up. They're going to play physical. They're going to blitz. They're going to go after the quarterbacks. And these guys are going to be asked to cover lots of one-on-ones. We just need good one-on-ones. So that might be true. I don't know. I'm not sure what that means. J Mommy says, give him the ball on short and goal. Teach him how to catch the ball. Saw his interview. Is a very, very nice person right there. J Mommy also says, I heard that Vaki played 3 different positions during the combine. Definitely could be a weapon. You know, the thing is what he provides is like depth. I freaking love that pick because he gives you deep depth because we got Kirby. We got enough, you know, we got safeties, you know, and he provides depth there. You know, he can be like your third safety. He can also be your 4th running back. You know, he can also be one of the aces on your special team. So yeah, he's 3 core. He's 3 core. He can be come in on some running back plays. You know, you can get him the ball. You can get him the ball. And I mean, I heard that he's electric in space. You know, he looked great in Utah running away from people. Dwayne says our secondary will be better, but we need to be ready for the 3rd quarter this year because that was our weak quarter last year. But Dwayne, don't you think, let me ask you this, don't you think that those moves that they made right there would be moves to help with that? You know, I think that what happens is they get out the leads on people, and that secondary was letting people get back into games because people were taking shots and we didn't have guys that can cover. You know, Carlton Davis is a good cover corner, especially when he's in one-on-one type of deals. That's what Terrion Arnold's strength is. You know, Rakestraw is really, really good at that. Rakestraw is really, really good at getting the guys that like to do the crosses. You know, he runs right with the guys. Yeah, J Mommy is on mine. Says I'm not much on the 40. I see the time and then I watch them in the game and game time chasing down some players. Some players need the incentive of game time. Yeah, I'm a 100% on you. To me, the 20-yard split is more important to me than 40. You know, you want explosiveness. You want to know how explosive the guys can get off the line, but you know, straight line speed. Okay. That's cool. You're fast like that. And some of the really fast, you can't teach that, right? You know, Jamison Williams would run in like the 4.2s, you know, Tyreek Hills and stuff like that. You can't teach that kind of speed. Vaki throws a touchdown this season. I don't know about that. I don't know. Can he play quarterback too? Oh gosh, you guys got me off of my game here. That's all right. That's all right. So we were just talking about Vaki right there. I think he's a great versatile piece. Now that I've gotten through all these comments right here. Great versatile piece. They get him in the 4th round. Some say they might have reached up. Then again, you know, if you have your eye on a guy and he's the guy that you want, then, you know, not everybody's going to value what he is like we might. You know, I think that, you know, special teams, gadget plays on offense, he can back up the safety position. You know, this is a valuable player right here, and you may not even hear his name called a lot, and that's kind of cool. So moving on, though. So then we wait for a while, I think, through an entire round. We didn't even pick it all in the 5th round. And we get into the 6th round, and I think that we traded up for this one. I can't remember what we traded up for it, but pick 6, 181. You get 6'1", 295 pounds, Mekhi Wingo out of LSU. Now, this is one of the more favorite picks that you would really like, because this guy right here is a big end or a small defensive tackle. It's kind of weird, but most defensive tackles are a little bit taller. Him being 6'1", but 295. You got compact. He's got 32-inch arms, 77-inch wingspan. And the 40-yard dash, he ran a 4.8, which is, the only reason I say that is because at 295 pounds, 4.8 is actually pretty impressive. But you want to talk about a defensive tackle that can come in and there's no pressure on this guy. I love these picks right here because the Lions already, they could have went with the roster that they had without a draft. They would have been fine to go into the season, but they've added players that are creating depth for this team. You got DJ Reader. You brought in Broderick Martin. You expect him to take a step this year. Aleem McNeil. You got some defensive tackles that you like, but then you bring in this kid right here who can come in and learn behind two of the best. But as far as being an anchoring defensive tackle, DJ Reader, there's probably there isn't many better in the league. As far as a guy that can anchor against double teams and not get pushed back. Played great against the run. That's a great person. Aleem McNeil can show him some of that, that quickness. This guy offers pass rushing ability. He kind of reminds me of a bigger version of Josh Pascal. A little bit. He's going to offer you pass rushing from the interior, and he can really line up all over the field. If you put him on the outside, he's going to be stout against the run. So I like this pick. I think it was kind of surprising that he was even there in the 6th round. I believe he had a 4th round grade. Some people had him in the 3rd round. So I dig it. I dig that pick. What did you think of the Mekhi Wingo pick? Right there. David Barnett says, I hope Vaki helps all 3 teams. Yes. I have high hopes for our D-line rotation. David, thank you for the comment right there. What did everybody else think about that? What was your favorite pick of the draft? Just rating it in general. You can comment in there. Join the conversation in here. That's what makes it fun right here. That's what makes it fun. We are the Lions Villain Squad. That's our Facebook page. And we're talking Lions 365 days a year. We putting content up 10, 15 times a day. 365 days a year. We're talking Lions right here. Join the conversation. Just like David. You can join the conversation like David and Dwayne.
You like that?
And that's what I love. And here we are. We got new players on the Lions. I'm excited. God, I've been chomping at the bit. I feel like we've been talking about draft prospects for the last, 6 weeks. Talking about a whole bunch of dudes that are going to be on my team. And I'm so happy to know who the people that are on my team now. And out of the 20 people that are watching, hit that like button, please. You can't be watching this show unless you like football. I love football. We love football. Let's put it together.
Acknowledge me.
There we go, mate. Would it make it better if I threw the bell in? Right there. That's who we got. Round 6, pick 189. Mekhi Wingo, defensive tackle, LSU. And, I expect this guy to compete for a starting job. I hope that he makes the team. I hope he makes the team. Because, Levi Onwuzurike is still here. You may forget about these guys, but these guys are going to be trying hard. It's competition. And then, after they had picked solidifying this defensive line a little bit right there, they just let the draft come to them, and then they get to their last pick. And 210 sitting right there. And they pick guard Christian Mahogany out of Boston College. Christian Mahogany. He's the kind of guy that should have been taken in the 3rd round, but he might have kind of a temper, if you know what I mean. He's the kind of guy that ain't going to take no crap off of anybody. Brad Holmes said he had a little bit of dirt bag in him. Okay? You got this guy. You're coming in at 6'3", 314 pounds. And this guy is a run-blocking mauler. I'm talking about rattling power. You're talking about rattling power. You're talking about a guy that wants to get a hold of you like this, and then he's going to finish. He's going to finish. I'm going to drive you, and I'm going to move you, and I'm going to finish you. He ain't going to take no crap off of anybody. And you know what? I think right here is, I'm calling this right now. Spoiler alert. This right here, Christian Mahogany, I think, has the best chance to come right out and earn a starting job. Yeah, I said it. Christian Mahogany might earn the starting job right there with Graham Glasgow. It will be a camp battle, which I do believe that Graham Glasgow will win, because we do value the guys that have been working their asses off. But this is a guy that's going to develop into the guard of the future. He's going to take one of those spots. I love this pick. And some of you might say, hey, Terrion Arnold is going to earn that starting job. That's possible. That's possible that he could earn, but this regime really values the veteran guys, and Carlton Davis and Amik Robertson are guys that can play. They can play. So it's not a given that Terrion Arnold is just going to earn starting spot right there. I think the chances are really good that it's going to be Carlton Davis and Terrion Arnold to go. I don't know where Rakestraw is going to fit in with that. I believe that Sione Vaki is going to earn job right away in special teams and have a spot on here as a depth piece at a couple spots. He's there. I think the chances are pretty good that Makai Wingo makes the team and earns a spot right there, but he ain't going to earn starting reps over DJ Reader or Aleem McNeil. So, you got Graham Glasgow, Kevin Zeitler. I think that this provides good depth for the Lions on the offensive line. This is the type of dude that, it's all the Detroit attitude all the way. And
we're going to bite a kneecap off.
Right there.
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
Yeah. Christian Mahogany's the type of guy that takes that type of shit.
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
He takes that seriously.
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
When he tells him that,
we're going to bite a kneecap off.
He's taking that serious. He's taking that to heart.
Acknowledge me.
So, that's our draft picks right there. That's the draft picks. We got 6 guys that I really believe could be on the team that they brought in as guys that are either going to be here or developmentally are going to be here. My favorite pick, from a value standpoint, has got to be Christian Mahogany. But then again, I don't want to sound like the homer, but going up and grabbing the cornerback that you want, I really like that too. I know that Terrion Arnold, like, here's how I believe that Brad Holmes operates. And he, during his press conferences, he's been giving a little bit of insight into how how they think, going into the draft. But I think that he has the players separated into, player bags. You got a bag of guys that are over here that are elite, right? You're super stud. Your guys that are instant impact players. Boom, pow! You're gonna come right in and do something. That's Terrion Arnold. I think that they probably had 15 to 20 guys tops that were in that first group of guys, right? And I believe they traded up because Terrion Arnold was one of those guys they identified as an instant impact type of guy. The stuff that they say that oh my God, he needs to work on his technique and everything. Well, what the hell do you think they're going to do in training camp? You're looking for raw ability and instincts, and that's what he has. So, and then they have a second group of guys that they put on a list that would be like, could be starter guys, like guys that are really, really good that might come right in and play. And that's usually like to pick, I would say, another, like, let's say 70 guys tops. You're not like by pick 80. I don't know if you noticed that in the draft. You saw all these crazy draft stuff happening in the second round. They wanted certain guys, and then you saw it taper off right around, pick 90, where it kind of went smooth then for a while. And then you're into that third group of guys, which is, backups, guys that can instantly step right in and do something, playing a backup, play a role playing guys. And then when you get to day 3, you're usually picking guys that, are going to be on your team that may not have instant impact. But I believe that the Lions got one of those guys that is like that is, Giovanni, the man beast right here. I don't think that you're going to see much of him in year 1. I think you're going to see him out there on the technique, working one-on-one with trainers, trying to get him up to speed, learning, pro techniques and all that. I don't think he's going to be instant impact. I could be wrong, but that's my honest opinion with that. But like Sione Vaki, that's like I said, he's the type of guy that he's going to have a special teams role, and you usually don't draft those guys. Those are like kickers, right? If you're getting a guy just for special teams, you can usually get those type of guys that are in UDFAs, right? But in this package of dude, this is a unique package where you get that good elite special teams play, but you're also getting contribution at depth at 2 other positions at the same time. So that's what's unique about that. And this, 6th round pick right here, this is the in the bag of developmental guy, 4th tier of guy. You get a guy that you should have got in the 4th round. He's a guy that could, end up working in as a rotational piece right away. And then right here, this was a top 100 player. Christian Mahogany was probably in the, the second bag. He said there was a reason why people didn't, why he did fall, and they didn't tell you what those reasons were, but it wasn't his talent. So that's what we're looking at right there. But what'd you think? Hey, Brent. Hey, y'all. Axel is a Detroit guy. Steve says Lions drafted Arnold because he looks like Axel Foley. Are you sure? Are you sure? Let me see. I got an Axel Foley. Does that look like Arnold? Let's see. Steve says Arnold looks like Axel Foley.
You like that?
You know what? I mean, let me see. I got another one of. Oh no, that's the only one of his face like that. Okay, that's right. That's right. The 313. It's the 313. Yeah, Axel Foley. Axel Foley going to be shutting down your wide receivers, though. I love it. I love it. You know, it's like when you do stuff like this, when you have drafts like this, like Steve, as a Packer fan, will ask the question, well, what are you going to do about Jordan Love and Dontavian Wicks and Christian Watson and Romeo Dobbs? Oh, and don't forget about Josh Jacobs. What are you going to do about? It's like, well, we're going to draft a bunch of wide receiver killers. We're going to draft the future. We're going to draft. We're going to bring in guys from the outside, trade to bring in cover corners. We're going to upgrade that room so we don't get burnt and torched on that big play. You know, it's like I watched that Thanksgiving game a couple times, Steve. You know, I let it sting a little bit, but you jumped out on us. You know, if I look directly at that game, I'm like, well, damn. Don't let Christian Watson run behind you and get jumped right off the first bit of the game. It is. I mean, you get killed by wide receivers. So you got to draft wide receiver killers. So what are you going to do about these wide receivers? Well, we're going to draft wide receiver killers. I don't know if I'm allowed to say killers. I think I have to say unalivers. That would be better like that. Yeah. So now that the Lions are done, you know, I think he did kill it. You know, instant impact players, Brent. You know, I'm not really. I think the Lions are the best team in the division. I think right now Green Bay is the second best team in the division, but I think that the Bears are the Bears got better. So I don't know how far the Bears got into that, but I still think the Lions are the best team, and I think there's a gap. Because when you look at the Lions position by position, they are loaded, especially on offense and now really on defense. Because when you look at the weaknesses on the Lions last year, it wasn't really pass rush or pressures or defensive tackle play. It was secondary was the biggest weakness. And they shored the hell out of that up. And, you know, you could go into free agency right now. The Lions still have $26 million in cap space, even after signing Amon-Ra and Penei Sewell. So, I mean, this is the Lions' year. You know, the window is now. You know, you want to go out and add Stephon Gilmore to this cornerback room in free agency on a 1 year. Let's go win a Super Bowl deal. I would like that. I wouldn't care. Anything 1 year deals, you got $26 million to play with. Let's go get the Super Bowl, guys. That's my thought right here. Go all in on this. You know what all the teams got now? You know what they all drafted? Go out there and get yourself some bona fide. Now, chomp on that for a little bit while I jump onto this. Now, the undrafted free agents. My slide didn't work, so I got to go in here with the undrafted free agents right here. So I don't want to go too much into these. It's like some of my favorite guys over at Pride of Detroit. I was listening to them today. It's like, I follow the money. Let's follow the money when it comes with the undrafted free agents. And you know what? I'll just bring up the Detroit Free Press right here. I'll just share the screen right with you through the window, through the wall. All right. So you brought in offensive lineman Kingsley Ekugun. He received $20,000 signing bonus and $225,000 base salary guarantee. So they expect him to be a depth piece. James Turner was brought in. I mean, here's a kicker. There you go. You wanted a kicker? They brought in the kicker from Michigan. What do you think about that? You brought in the kicker from Michigan. I'm not a Michigan fan. I don't know. Is he any good? So, and yes. And they also brought in Isaiah Williams, the wide receiver from Illinois, and they gave him a $225,000 guaranteed salary. So, I think that means that they believe that he has a chance to play. The Isaiah Williams, wide receiver, Illinois. I know that they didn't address wide receiver at any point in the draft, and I thought it was more of a, hey, we like Donovan Peoples-Jones, as a number 3, number 4, along with a wide receiver room, right? So I have no problem with that. What TF happened? So what happened with Jake Bates? Well, Jake Bates is kicking for the Michigan Panthers, and we're not allowed to make any deals with him until after his season is over. So Jake Bates is somebody they could add as competition. I mean, what do you guys think of James Turner from Michigan? I don't know, Michigan fan. He's so, I mean, you got our guy, you got, man, I can't even think of our kicker. They only used him like 3 times last year. But we have a kicker competition now. Steve says Arnold is not a threat, no worries. Are you sure? Are you sure? Because your team was about ready to take him. Your team was about ready to take him. Brad Holmes moved right up in front of Green Bay. And Green Bay, I don't know if you were thinking about taking a second round tackle. Nothing wrong with the player that you took. But yeah, I think Brad Holmes got you with the shuffle step right there. Again, last year it was Brian Branch. This time it was Terrion Arnold. Yeah, you're thinking about it. You're thinking about it. You're crazy. You're crazy to think that he wouldn't be an impact. He was widely known as the best cornerback in the draft. Quinyon Mitchell was the best zone corner in the draft, and Terrion Arnold was the best man corner in the draft, and it was widely looked at like that. You had the real fast guy from Georgia, Wiggins, but you want to talk about a physical corner, the way that Detroit plays. I love the pick. I love that pick right there. So Isaiah Williams, I'm not gonna, they did pick up some of these other guys right here, but it's gonna be really hard this year to crack this team because the Lions are so deep. Michael says Rakestraw is a beast, and he is. The Lions got the 2 best SEC corners in the draft, and that's going to be nice. Cornerback is a nice position to be saving money on. You get these guys out there, and you got Terry on a 5-year deal. You got him on rookie deals. You were able to wait on Terrion Arnold. This guy was widely known as a top 15 pick, and they were able to get him at 24, which from a capologist standpoint, that's a pretty significant money drop. So they're saving a little bit right there. But I do know that the other teams in the division, they all got better. Actually, I got a piece of content coming up that I actually believe that the NFC North as a whole was the most improved division in football. And the Lions' improvement was really pointed because when you really look at the core of the team, like the Lions really didn't change much, right? The offensive line is all still there. You lost Jonah Jackson. You replaced him with a Pro Bowl guard in Kevin Zeitler. You bring back Graham Glasgow. There's no change at quarterback. There's no change at backup quarterback. Now you still got Hendon Hooker still developing. There's no change at running back. You still got David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Craig Reynolds. There's no change at tight ends with Brock Wright and Laporta. There's really no change at wide receiver with, Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jamison Williams, Khalif Raymond. So the guys that you brought in are just going to come into that. On defense, look at on defense, your starting defense, you are changing. You're changing from Benito Jones and McNeil to DJ Reader and McNeil. That's a significant jump. And you're still developing Broderick Martin. Aiden Hutchinson's coming back for his 3rd year. You're bringing back Pascal for his 3rd year. You brought back Kaminsky. Bringing back James Houston. You brought in Davenport. All of these guys can contribute from a depth point, and anybody else you're bringing in, like they're competing with those guys. At linebacker, you're stacked. Jack Campbell, Anzalone, Derek Barnes, Malcolm Rodriguez, Jalen Reeves-Maben. You're stacked. You're fine. And then the only thing that really changed was that secondary room, and the secondary room was trash last year. Telling me Cam Sutton was the best corner that we had. And that's the truth. What are you going to do about that? Well, you revamp the secondary. You become the positional villain. A positional villain. So, all right. Michael's in here. Yeah. That's a great choice. Detroit won the draft, period. Detroit won the draft for what the Detroit was going to get. Detroit wasn't competing their draft against anybody else's, So it's like when I say that Detroit would won the draft, and I agree with you that they did, I don't think they won the draft, and it wasn't against Steve and his Packers. The Lions won the draft because they got the players that they needed in the draft. David Barnett says Revis Island had a junkyard dog up front and a cheetah in back. We have many good corners. Will any be great? I think Terrion Arnold's going to be a great corner. I think Terrion Arnold has the potential to be a top 5 corner in this league and be Arnold Island. I think Arnold is that guy. I think Rakestraw could be that guy. here's the thing, just because you get the two best corners in the draft, it doesn't mean that they're going to be any good. I mean, you never know until they get there. But Terrion Arnold has a leadership type of chip. Like, you could just tell when he's talking. He's a leader. I mean, he talked about Brian Branch like Brian Branch was one of his kids. It was he's got a really good demeanor about him. How do you know we be ready? We were ready to take him. We were were you in the Packers war room? Lions were just afraid we were going to take him. So you're saying that your whole plan was to just, pass on Terrion Arnold and take the tackle that you were taking. Well, I mean, I wasn't in there. Says our secondary is the best in the NFC North right now. Our secondary is unproven. I can't argue with that. You got Jair Alexander, Stokes, Valentine. So, I say that our secondary might be there. Our secondary got completely revamped. So I don't know if I can. I might not be going there at the end of the year, Steve. I'll give it to you right now, though. But actually, I won't give it to you right now. I don't even know. I think that the Chicago's got a pretty good secondary right now too. So, but that's the thing, man. Like I said, I think that the NFC North is the most improved division. I mean, you look at what the Packers did. I make fun of. I troll the Packers because that's my job, to troll the Packers. But like, if you look at the facts are nobody thought Jordan Love was going to be good, and some might say that he proved the doubters wrong last year. I thought that he had a good season. I'd say that I was wrong on where he was going to be. But there are times I'm not 100% sold on him like some of you are. I think he's good. Not great yet, but we'll see. He's going to go in, have another year under his belt. They drafted players of need in positions that they needed it. That's what the Packers did. And the Packers have proven that they can draft and develop players. So who would I be to criticize their draft because PFF had their grade low, So as long as they got the guys that they wanted, that's all good. Now, when it comes to the Chicago Bears, I mean, there's the real question right there. I mean, the Lions ain't competing against the Bears and the Packers. The Lions are competing against the Lions. Lions are just trying to get their roster as good as it can be so we can go compete for a Super Bowl. And if you play us, you better pack a lunch. But the Bears, they get Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze. They've gotten their team a lot better in this offseason. You got a trio of wide receivers. And you have a trio of wide receivers there. And that might be scary right there. And then, even the Vikings. Yeah, I thought the Vikings would be trading into the top 5. Well, they didn't have to trade into the top 5. When it came down to it, all the Vikings had to do was trade up one spot, and they were able to select J.J. McCarthy, and arguably the best pass rusher in this year's draft. Kwesi had a good draft, in my opinion. So, with all 4 teams getting really, really better, I mean, could we actually see all 4 teams from the NFC North make the playoffs? It's possible. The North is chasing Detroit. And that's the thing. Is like, all y'all teams out there, you think you're getting better, that's fine. Yeah, you can like what your team did and everything, but my team got better too. My team got better on offense. My team got way better on defense. And the offense is proven. And my question is did the other teams do enough to stop what the Lions are going to be doing on offense? I don't think so. I think the Lions are going to have a top 3 offense in the NFL, if not the top offense. And the defense is going to be much improved this year with a lot of players going into their 3rd and 4th years making steps. So, and that's taken me to the end of our draft recap. A little bit over, but I'm glad I got the stuff. I'm going to be breaking down the other teams in the NFC North this week. I'm hoping to get a couple guests to help me out because I want to know about my enemies. I want to get done with my week of research. Maybe it'll take me 2 weeks, but I'm letting everybody know that I'm not going to be doing the live thing all the way through the off season. I'm going to be making videos. I'm going to be making videos and posting videos. But in a couple weeks' time, we're going to have the Monday night show with Main Event Mike. I'll be going there, and we're going to be releasing videos throughout the week, along with all the other content on the Facebook page. So keep up with us. Make sure that you're joining the conversation. We got a ton of content. We're approaching 50,000 villains, 50,000 people on our Facebook page. Please go and follow, like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the content, share the content. If you like the Lions, if you're hardcore, if you're going to be with us during the entire offseason, but I'm going to be with you for a couple more weeks in the mornings, and then I'm going to take a break. And then I'm going to take a break for a few weeks. But faith, family, and football, that's what we preach right here on this. Thank you, everybody that's using the link in the description for our outreach, NTC Church. Thank you guys so much for doing outreach in Genesee County, Flint, Michigan. Those of you that use that link, you're helping our outreach in Genesee County, and we appreciate you. God bless you for that. Faith, family, and football. In that order. Now, the family and football, you guys are my family. You guys are my football family. You know, for your own family, use football. Use football to spend time with your family. Don't let football use you. And may the Lord bless you. And may the Lord keep you. And may the Lord shine his face upon you until we meet again tomorrow for Football Talk Daily with Russell Wayne. God bless.
Say my game,